Well, the standoff over the critically important insurance bill continues. Is the Congress just being an obstructionist opposition? That's the question we're asking on a day when Rahul Gandhi insisted that his party doesn't have any double standards on the bill, but not many are actually buying that. The BJP doesn't have the numbers in the Rajya Sabha, with other parties also opposed to this key reform legislation. In fact, we're also hearing now that the Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh, which is an affiliate of the RSS, has threatened to organize some kind of a dharna or agitation if the insurance bill is in fact passed in the Rajya Sabha. Well, joining us tonight on this particular face-off, we have Mr. Jayant Sinha, Lok Sabha MP of the BJP, and Mr. Rashmikant, spokesperson of the Congress party. Mr. Rashmikant, how can the Congress say that this is not a double standard and this is not an about-face? Because there really doesn't seem to have been any concrete opposition that the Congress has cited to this bill, which, as everyone says, was your baby.
The bill, as regards to 49%, is certainly ours. We were for 49%. But Nidhi, as you know, the devil lies in the detail. To remind you, in 2008, this bill was referred to a standing committee of the Lok Sabha headed by Mr. Jaswant Sinha, which gave its report in 2011 with several amendments, 86 of which were accepted. And after that, the bill was tabled by the Congress. The Congress talked about, they incorporated 86 amendments and brought in 49% in 2013. Because of paucity of time, the bill could not be taken up in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha and not converted into an act. The fresh bill that has been brought about by BJP, on which an agreement had been reached in 2013, is not the same.
What is the one main difference?
Well, but there's several differences, and those are for the select committee of parliament to decide. But the big difference, there are several differences. The bill differences, the main difference is the FDI FII thing. That you said that both FDI and FII are can be collated together, and that will be considered as an investment. Now that is just one part of it. But ultimately, Rules 69 and 70 of Rajya Sabha talks about a select committee. And what is a select committee for? There are procedures, there are rules.
So Mr. Sinha, what's wrong with that? Let it go to a select committee, because not just the Congress that has a problem with the legislation, it also is other parties. So therefore, isn't then that the most natural next step? And now you also have the Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh, which is an affiliate of the RSS, that is threatening a strike.
Well, there should obviously be consultations in Parliament, but I think the Finance Minister has been very clear to actually say that we should either pass the bill, which is what we would do if we had the votes, alternatively defeat it if the Congress feels that it should be defeated either in the upper house or the lower house. Certainly you should try that. Or third, if there are concrete amendments, and I would ask Mr. Rashmikant to tell us exactly what he thinks should be the amendments. The Finance Minister was very clear to say, tell us what the amendments are, let's debate it and let's get it done. I think the country is waiting to get things done. Execution is the order of the day right now, and I think sending it to select committee, putting further delays on it, is just not what the people want.
Rejection actually suits you, because then you can call a joint session of Parliament and then
we'll deal with that. But let me also emphasize that this is a bill that's been discussed since 2008, which is when it went into standing committee. It came into the Rajya Sabha in 2011. It's been 3 years of debate around this bill. So I think we've had plenty of time to debate it, figure it out. Now is the time to show that we can get things done for the people of this country.
But so then are you being obstructionist? That is the question. Is the Congress being deliberately obstructionist on this?
Let me jog your memory a bit, and Mr. Sinha's memory a bit, that as recently as less than a year ago, the present Prime Minister had tweeted and said that you are selling the nation by giving 49%. So what is the big hurry? Now the difference between a standing committee and a select committee is that a standing committee can take unlimited time, while a select committee takes limited time. Why? It is not for us to debate here and say what is the differences. These will come, these will be brought together by the parliamentarians who are part of the select committee. And to the best of my knowledge, even somebody like the Anna DMK has written to the chair today asking for it to be a member of the select committee. So what is the big hurry? If you can wait for 6 years, why can't you wait for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks? What is the big hurry?
Mr. Sinha.
Well, I think there's
you don't seem convinced with what he has said on what their main objection is.
First of all, I'm not at all sure that I understand what their objections are at this stage after extensive and lengthy discussions that have happened on this bill, which has been discussed at length in the standing committee and so on. So clearly, if they have any objections or any issues, those should come out very quickly, summarily. Now, what has happened is that something has fundamentally changed between 6 months ago and now, which is we have a decisive mandate. And the decisive mandate is from the people of this country saying it's time to get things done, it's time to execute, and it's time to make sure the economy gets moving again. And that's what the budget was intended to do.
But
that's what we're trying to do.
But you still have to have the numbers on your side, which you don't in the Rajya Sabha. You also do have the process which
our
allows for a select committee.
Our hope was that if the Congress had wanted this bill passed when they were there, that they wouldn't suddenly turn around and have a situation where they're completely counter to what they have been doing just 6 months ago. So I mean, it is the worst form. It's the worst form of political opportunism.
No, but then the same could be said of the BJP.
I
mean,
wouldn't
your roles have reversed for both of you.
I'd like to counter this. This is not opportunism at all, for the simple reason we are not opposed to 49%. We are not opposed to the bill. All we are asking for is a discussion in the select committee to discuss the amendments that they've made, in which every political party should be taken on board so that a consensus can be built. And if he's talking about opportunism, the boot lies on the other leg. The fact of the matter is that it is their Prime Minister who said you are selling the nation. Is he wanting to sell the nation now?
No, so I'm saying that both of you have very different positions today from what you did a year ago.
Well, I think
we don't.
The roles have reversed.
I think
we are opposed to the amendments that
we are talking about the facts. So I should ask my colleague to really look at the facts. The truth of the matter is that when the bill was originally introduced on opening up insurance, which was done in 1999 during the time of the NDA government at that time, it was brought in at 49%. And we had said at that point, this is a sector where we need new products and services. We need to massively expand the sector because India is massively underinsured for productive assets, for people, for crop insurance, and so on and so forth. So we really need to open this sector up. Even with 26%, we had tremendous growth. We had an opportunity to really put products and services in front of people in India. We had huge job creation that happened as a result of that. And we had the long-term investments that the insurance sector has to really grow the economy. So we were all in favor of doing that in 1999. Subsequent to that, it was the Congress that then said, no, we are not going to allow 49%. We had to back it down to 26%.
How are you? No, but how are you going to deal with opposition from within the family? From within this, for instance, your, RSS affiliates now who are also saying that we are going to oppose this. You don't have just a problem with the Congress. And an all-party meeting that we understand was called for tomorrow morning has now been called off after this threat.
No, so I think what we have to do is we have to make sure that all the stakeholders are on board. That is the democratic process. That is the way, responsible politics and responsible governance happens. We will certainly do that. If there are people within our own family, within the Sangh Parivar that have objections, we will sit down with them. We will explain to them what we're trying to do. It's very much in the national interest. It is in the interest of the people of this country. And if the Congress has principled objections, it has real issues that it wants to debate in Parliament. Parliament is an institution that's meant to deal with and bring these kinds of issues to the surface and resolve them. Certainly in the Rajya Sabha, over the next few days, we can get this done. I just don't see the point of taking a bill that's been debated ad nauseum and then say, let's put it in select committee and spend another 6 months.
No, so
well, what was the reason for taking it to the standing committee? For the same reason that there were differences.
You will not be able to escape the allegations that the Congress here is being obstructionist, that you really don't have a convincing argument for why the party is opposed to this. Why delay it? It's a key reform.
No,
principally you're for it, then let it happen.
The fact of the matter is that there have been changes made to the bill that were agreed upon earlier. And if changes have been made, they need to be discussed very thoroughly. Like I said, the devil lies in the detail. And unless parliamentarians can discuss it at length, in a limited time frame, because select committees do have a limited time frame, unlike a standing committee, what is the problem the BJP has in that? After all, we agreed to a standing committee. Why can't they agree to a select committee? What is the problem? What is the big hurry? Okay, if they waited for 6 years, what is the hurry?
So, Mrs.
Why not 6 more weeks?
What is at stake here, though? Because Mr. Modi has an important visit coming up to the US as well in September. There are key signals, obviously, this government wants to send out, not just to the Americans, but to the world about its seriousness to push ahead with the reform process. Your problem, though, doesn't seem to be only from your issues in the Rajya Sabha when it comes to lack of numbers. It's also internally and dealing with, Sangh affiliates, like I said, who have that problem. So you have quite a hurdle to cross here.
Well, Nidhi, I think the fact of the matter is you can trust us to always work in the national interest. We've just shown, as far as the WTA is concerned, that we are prepared to take tough decisions if indeed we feel that they are in the national interest. So naturally, whatever we do on the insurance bill is also obviously going to be in the national interest. Now, as far as we are concerned, we believe that it's very important for the people of India to be able to have access to these products and services. This is a capital-starved sector that requires capital, and so let's get on with it. right? This bill has been debated and discussed intensively. We are all responsible parliamentarians. I see no reason why.
But if
in a
the
few
select
days of
committee
debate,
has a
and by the way, I'll
limited,
just add
if
one
it's a
more thing.
limited time
I will
frame,
just
what's
add
wrong
one
with
more
that?
thing. The finance minister has said, and he said this in the discussion in the all-party meeting, that if you have good amendments and you want to move them and you want them included in the bill, let's do it.
Well, they cannot be done in an informal forum. The supremacy of parliament and select committees is there. Why are we trying to take away the supremacy of the select committees? And as far as Mr. Sinha talking about capital investment, if capital investment was the issue, why have you got FIIs in it? FIIs is not capital investment. FIIs is very easy to enter and exit.
Last quick word from both of you. Yeah.
No. Last I checked, FII flows are capital flows and they should certainly be considered capital, number one. And number two, I think we have very responsible parliamentarians. If things have to be decided and sorted out, we can do that in a few days.
All right, well, I'll have to really leave it at that for now, but it'll be interesting to see how you're able to resolve this issue. Like I said, at the moment, this government, the Modi government, doesn't just have a problem with its numbers in the Rajya Sabha with opposition from the Congress and other political parties, but it also has a problem with its own affiliates like the Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh, which have now threatened an agitation if indeed this bill is passed.
Nidhi, you need to give me 5 seconds. We are not opposed to 49%.
I know.
We are not opposed to FDI. It is only the detailing that we want to go into, and we think the best mechanism is to go to the select committee.
All right, I'm going to leave it at that. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us tonight for what has been a much more civilized and sane debate on the program this week. Well, that's it on the show this evening. We'll see you again tomorrow. Do join us then.